Hi, this is a video about solving linear equations with fractions, okay? A lot of people really struggle with fractions, and so I'm going to show you a technique that will get rid of your fractions, all right? So that's the goal. All right, so our goal again is to eliminate our fractions, okay? And so I want you to look at an example here to help you understand first how this all works. I have some number, this is a one-step equation, okay? I have some number x divided by 4, and that's going to give me 5. And we want to figure out what x is, right? This over here is a fraction, okay? And the opposite, operation, I'm dividing by 4. Some number divided by 4. A fraction is simply just using division. And if I'm dividing by 4, the opposite of dividing by 4 is to now multiply both sides by 4. Okay, and what this does over on this side here, I have 4 divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is simply just going to be 1. All right, and that's going to divide out to 1. 1 times x, and that's going to give 5 times 4 is 20. 1 times x is simply just going to give me x, and that's going to be 20, okay? So it's this part here that I'm really concerned with, okay? So let's look at another example. All right, so an example like this where you had, say, x over 3 plus 7 over 3. So x over 3 plus 7/3 is equal to 4. This is hard, okay? You can solve this without eliminating the fractions. However, what I want to do is just get rid of all my fractions, okay? And that will make things a lot easier. So what I can do is look at my denominator. My denominator in both of these fractions is 3, okay? So what I want to do is I want to multiply everything by 3. And if I do that, what happens is that the 3's will divide out here, okay? And check this out. So if I have 3 divided by 3, that divides out to 1. You're simply just left with x. And then over here, 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1. All right? So that's going to divide out as well. And you're just left with 7. And then you've got 4 times 3, which is 12. Okay, now I just have a one-step equation, and this equation is an easy equation to solve. So if I subtract both sides by 7, then I'm simply just going to get that x is equal to 5. Okay, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. All right, let's look at a harder example. All right, so in this example, notice that you have different denominators. Okay, and what we want to figure out is what number could we multiply by that are going to eliminate all of my denominators. So you have to use what's called the least common multiple, or LCM. All right, and I'm going to take each of my denominators, which is 4 and 8. All right, and I'm going to find the multiples, and I want to find the smallest common multiple in those lists. So I've got 4, 8, 12. For 8, I've got 8 and 16. All right, so 8 is my common multiple. You can also think of this as like your common denominator. All right, so what I'm going to do is my least common multiple is going to be 8. And I'm going to multiply everything here by an 8. Okay, and watch what happens. Now I can start dividing things out. And I've got 8 divided by 4, which is going to divide out to 2. Okay, and because 8 divided by 4 is 2, I'm still going to bring down my x. Okay, up here, 8 divided by 8 is going to be 1. So minus 3 is equal to 8 divided by 8, which is going to give me 7. Okay, so what we can do now is we now have a linear equation that is simple that we can operate with, and we just have a two-step equation here. All right, so check this out. I'm going to go ahead and add 3 to both sides. And I'm going to get that 2x is equal to 10. Divide both sides by 2, and I get that x is equal to 5. Okay, and that's my answer. Let's look at a harder example. All right, so an equation like this is pretty tricky. okay, I have 3 different denominators. I have 4, 3, and 6, okay? So I got to find a number that I can multiply each of these terms by that are going to divide out my denominators, okay? So let's take a look here. And let's figure out what our LCM is, our least common multiple. All right. So I'm going to take the multiples of 4, 3, and 6. All right. My multiples of 4 are going to be 4, 8, 12, 16. The multiples of 3 are going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Multiples of 6 are going to be 6, 12, and 18. Okay, so the common number in these lists is 12. All right, that's my least common multiple. It's also my common denominator. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply every one of these by 12. Okay, so, and I want to do the division here. So here I've got 12 divided by 4, which is going to be 3. So 12 over 4 is 3. Okay, I'm going to then continue to drop down my 3x. Okay, over here, I'm going to do plus. I got 12 over 3, which is going to give me 4. So 12 divided by 3 is going to give me a 4, and I'm going to drop down my 2x. And then I've got 12 divided by 6, which is going to divide out to 2. And so over here, I've got equals and then 2 times 1, which is just going to give me 2. All right. So now let's do the math here. All right. I'm going to multiply 3 times 3x, which is going to give me a value of, what is that, 9x, and then plus 14 times 2, 4 times 2, which is going to give me 8x, and that's going to be equal to 2. Now I want to combine my like terms here and here, so 9x plus 8x is going to give you 17x, and that's going to equal 2. I'm going to then divide both sides by 17. Yuck, this is kind of a not so friendly number, but when you have these kinds of equations, these are the kinds of solutions you're going to get. So I get the value that x is equal to 2/17, okay? And that's my answer for x, all right? So, you know, I hope that there is another way to do this. It's very, very long, but I don't see the purpose in that when all you have to do is eliminate your fractions and then get down to something that you need, all right? So that's the tactic that you would use to solve an equation involving fractions. Thanks, bye.